So now we're going to talk about a few little tips that if you want to stay within a certain budget, or like maybe can be wasteful things that you need to think about. So one of the tips that we talked about earlier is credit card debt. So one of the most expensive thing is revolving credit card debt. If you are not paying off your credit card at the end of the month, my son, when he first started his job and he got his first little credit card as an adult, he's asked, Mom, when should I pay my credit card? Because I'm not looking at that one. That's his thing. I'm like, when you get paid, you pay your credit card. So you don't wait. You don't have to wait until the end of the month. You don't have to wait till the bill comes. When you get paid, you pay your credit card. That's my rule. When you get paid, you pay your credit card bill. That's just it, because you're using your credit card to buy groceries, gas, everything instead of cash. So you need to pay it. So you don't need to wait for the big whopper of a bill that comes at the end of the month. You need to pay your credit card bill when you get paid. That's a good rule of thumb. So that's my rule of thumb. When you get paid, you pay your credit card. So, I don't believe in paying interest on credit cards. If for some reason there's something that I want to buy and I want to have a personal loan on it, I might put it on a 0% credit card to pay it off within 12 months if that's a 0%. For example, I did my floors and it was $25,000 and it was 0% interest for 12 months. So I divided it by 12 months. I paid the 12 months off, 0 interest. So interest is the cost of money, is you buying debt. So when you have revolving credit card debt, sometimes the interest rate is 30%, 25%, 20%. That is ridiculous. That's like another payment. When you have revolving debt, you are buying debt. That's a way of buying debt. So you are paying interest on that. So that's something that you need to think about. The other thing that you need to think about is how often you eat out. Should you be eating out as often as you are? Is that something you're comfortable with? Look at what you're spending at restaurant and their meals. If you're comfortable with what you're doing, that's fine. If you're not, you might want to consider, spending some money on your groceries and try to cook a couple of meals once or twice. Sometimes we cook and the meal is more expensive when we cook it, but when we go to a restaurant, we have to pay tip, we get a drink, all those things. So consider how much you're eating out. Monitor your eating out. Track that on your app or your software and see what it is that you're spending. And if you're comfortable with that, that's fine. But if you're not comfortable with that and you have other financial goals, this is something that is adjustable. You can decide that I want to go to my favorite restaurant once a month instead of every week. So, you decide on that. The other one that I see all the time, even on my own stuff, is unused subscriptions. My husband gets on his phone and he clicks on something and he gets something and they tell him, oh, you tried for 30 days, yada, 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 whatever. Oh my gosh. The average study shows average Americans waste $364 a year on entertainment subscriptions that they do not use. $364 can take you and your husband or your wife or whoever to a nice dinner at least twice, at least in Palm Beach County. So I don't have any problem spending money I don't say anything about you spending money that you are enjoying and you're comfortable with, and if that's your priority. But I absolutely despise wasting money and throwing $364 out on subscriptions that you're not using is just a big waste. Don't waste your money. That's my biggest pet peeve. I tell the kids all the time, do not leave the light on, because I don't own stock in FPL and it's a waste. So don't waste your money. So cancel those unused subscriptions and make sure you're browsing through what is being charged on your credit card. Make sure you understand everything that's on there. If you don't know what something is, find out what that is. So that's one of the ways that you can cut down from your bleeding. That's like a few total waste. You need to trim the waste. That's one of the ways to trim the waste, So So that's one of the things that you need to look at, also, you can look at your internet bills, your phone bills, your cable bills, your medical bills. A lot of these things can be negotiated. Sometimes the cable bill, they have a special plan. They're not going to call you and tell you about it. You can, once a year when your cable, you call them, hey, is there any special deal that you have for whatever. You reassess your bills every year. Even your phone bill. I cannot tell you, I have had one phone company for more than 2 decades. And every time I talk to them, and it is a pain in the butt talking to these people, or I talk to them like, hey, do you have any specials going on? Do you know what can I do to reduce my bill, or whatever it is? Internet, it's the same thing. Cable is the same thing. Medical bills is another one that you need to look at. If you have medical bills, it does not hurt to ask. All they could say is no. It's okay if they say no, but if you don't ask, you will never know, and you will never know if that's money that you can trim. Trimming those things, you can save money, so much money, by just looking at what your bills are, making sure you're scanning through them, calling them once in a while, and at least once a year, and reevaluating what you're paying for. Definitely do that. Stop buying cheap junk. This is my husband, number 1, number 2, and number 3 problem. He loves to buy 10 of one thing that was on sale that we're never going to use, and stack it up in my garage, which I don't know about. And then he'll bring it out 10 years later and say, yeah, hey, I used it. If I was paying interest on that $2 thing would have been $25 right now. So stop buying stuff you don't need. That's my other problem is my husband's always telling me, oh, I'm buying this for a souvenir, or I'm going to keep this. Well, guess what? I have no problems with you buying something you're going to enjoy. If you're going to enjoy it and you've looked at it and you wonder and you're comfortable with what you have, then by all means. But if you're going to buy something just because it's cheap, you don't know why you're going to use it, you have no idea where it is, it's going to get lost in your closet, just like for him, and you're not going to get the benefit of the things that you have. You're not using it. So if you're not getting the benefit of something that you're buying, you're keeping it just in case, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Look at that. Look at the quality of the things that you're buying. You might spend a little more money, but in the long run, you're buying something that's going to need less maintenance and things like that. So cheap is not always better. So always look at the overall items you're buying and think in the long run how this is going to help you. So buy quality, when you're looking at different things. Make sure you're checking out all the things. Just because you decide to buy quality doesn't mean that you pay top dollar. You wait for those things to come on sale. There's different ways. Black Friday shopping is great for electronics. That's the only thing I know it's good for. Anything else? Nah, I don't do that. But, that's probably when you want to buy your electronics. You want to buy it in certain times. Wait for that to do. So stop getting multiple streaming services. Try to combine your streaming services. These days, they want us to get all these things on streaming. If you add up all your streaming, you're spending a lot of money, including all the cable and stuff like that. So try to see if you can combine all your stuff. Try to see what you watch, because a lot of it also, they have cross shows and things like that. So try to see what works better for you. So, do that. Stop spending money on expensive flights. Research what you're doing when you're traveling. For example, I'm going to Canada soon. And when I looked on the weekend how much that is, it's $450 for a return flight. Now, I looked on the Tuesday, it is $225 for that same flight. So just put your research hat on and research and look and think and be mindful of what you're doing. That is how you're gonna be doing quality things with your money. Your money is going to be spent quality. One of the Shark Tank girls said, money is meant to be spent. I believe that money is meant to be spent. What you spend the money on is what the difference is. It's not meant for you to sit there and watch it in the bank and not know what your goal is for it. I don't believe in that. I have a goal pot for all my different things. A goal pot for my children's education, a goal pot for my vacations, a goal pot for my car, a goal pot for if I want to buy an investment property, whatever it is that I want, my money's allocated. A goal pot for retirement, that's how my money's allocated. It's allocated to something. So that's how we're doing it. So if you want to be budget minded, then you want to be you use your money wisely, then you need to make sure that you're looking at what you're spending your money on. Stop buying new clothes. Don't shop in your closet. This is one of my problems. One of the things is when you buy a lot of clothes, you don't know what you have. So before you decide on getting new clothes, go ahead. Look in your closet, see what you have. I've done it before. It's amazing. It's amazing on what things I have in my closet that I can use and I could wear for certain things. So look at that. Look at that. And if you want to resell some of your clothes, there's so many different apps that are doing resale of things. Secondhand is like the way of the future now. There's Poshmark, there's Marketplace, there's OfferUp, there's all these different things that you can use to resell products that you're not using anymore. So you don't want to waste. You don't want to waste. Stop paying bank fees. There's too many, make sure you're going to the right ATM to withdraw your money. Don't just go to Joe Schmo ATM. Make sure you're not paying a fee. Usually if you go to PNC and you're a PNC banker, you don't have a fee. So don't go to the Bank of America across the street when you have a PNC account and you could save your money. Those things can add up too. So make sure that you look at that, Stop the unplanned and impulse purchases. Plan what you're doing and that's how you buy it. Like I said, I have a savings pot, a goal pot for everything. If I want to buy big things, I have my pot for it. If I'm going out and I have something specific, make a list when you're going out. Not because something is cheap, you want to grab it. Please don't do that. Because you're going to be spending money on something cheap that you're not going to enjoy when eventually when you want to spend something on that, when you want to spend that money on something that you enjoy, you don't get that item, and you're not able to get that item because you spent all your money on crap that you're not going to use. So here's the other thing is, we live in a culture that normalized revolving debt. I am not a believer in unsecured credit card debt. I believe that if you're paying for that, then if you have to pay for something on your credit card that you're going to have to pay interest on, you should consider not buying that item. You should consider, you always wonder, where the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is keeping up with the Joneses. So remember, the number one lesson for frugal people, and I consider frugal different from cheap. So frugal people are just people that are conscious on what they're spending their money on. It's not someone who spends their money on something that is necessarily cheap. They're just being conscious of what they're spending on. So who cares what your neighbor is buying, what is in style, what's happening, whether they're forget about keeping up with the Joneses. Forget about that, because I do tax returns for a living. I see everybody's financial. I know what the Joneses are making. I know what the Joneses are keeping. I know what decisions the Joneses are making. So you trust me. I'm not telling you not to buy that Louis Vuitton bag that you've been saving up for 5 years. Or I'm not telling you not to buy the car that you've been, have your goal pots for. By all means, you have your goal pots, you sell, you see what you want, this is something that you're interested in because you like it, not because the Jones have it. I think some of the stuff out there is ugly. So I am not going to buy a bag because Mrs. Jones has that bag if I think it's ugly. If I like it and I want to save up for it, I will buy it. The same thing with a car, the same thing with a house. Not because someone else have it, I want it. I buy something that I like. Even if it's in style and I don't like it, I don't buy it. So, and I have to make sure it's a quality. I have to make sure it's, not because it's a certain name you buy. You buy what you like. I'm not against not buying for, buying your Lexus or your, whatever kind of purse you want. I'm a big purse person myself. I'm a big shoe person. I love my fashion, but I buy what I like. I buy what fits me nice. I buy what I'm comfortable in. I don't buy something just because my sister has it, my neighbor have it, Mrs. Jones have it. I saw it on Fashion Week, so it must be in style. Some of those things to me are ugly and I don't like it, so I'm not going to buy it. I buy what makes me comfortable. I buy what I'm comfortable buying. I buy what I think, not because it comes from a certain store, I'm going to buy it. I buy what I think it's right for me. So that's the other thing that you need to look at. You need to work your emotions. It's your money. You decide what you want to buy it for. When you're wanting to keep up with the Joneses, you're not controlling your money. When you go out and you buy cheap crap or in impulse buying, you're not controlling your money. Your money is controlling you. You control your money. You decide what you want. You decide what you like. So those are the things that you need to look at when you're doing your budget. So once you start looking at your budget on your app or your software and you see what you've spent, you decide you dig down deep, you decide, do I want to spend that much on coffee? Do I want that to spend that much on groceries? Do I want to spend that much on eating out? Is my house too big for me? Am I house poor? All these things you need to look at when you're looking at your historical numbers. Then you decide if this is what you want. This is what you've been doing. Is this what you want to continue doing? And you make the decision to make the changes. And we're going to continue on our series on top 10 financial literacy, things that we need to look at, and what we need to talk about in order to get you guys on being financial savvy. This is the Modern Savvy CPA. Next week, we are going to cover another topic on our top 10 financial lits. The information and views on this video is provided for specific subject matter only and does not reflect official opinion or position of the Modern Savvy CPA LLC or Sherron Permashwar CPA. The Modern Savvy CPA LLC or Sherron Permashwar CPA were not engaged in providing legal, tax, or accounting services. Before taking any action based on this information, we strongly encourage you to consult with a professional accounting or tax advisor about your specific situation.